These homemade cat treats are very easy to make. There are only 2 ingredients, no oats, no flour, no garbage, all carnivore appropriate. Jericho loves these treats for hunting and clicker training, and you can use them as a topper when you introduce new foods because cats love the smell of this. I have a blog post linked in the description and in the pinned comment that includes the full recipe, product links, instructions, and everything else that you need to make these cat treats. Hello, how are you? Let me know what you and your cat have been up to this week. Jericho got a brand new base for his cat scratcher. So we've had this for 3 years and I just bought a new base because Jericho absolutely shredded the other one. So it's nice to see and Jericho loves it. This is his favorite scratcher, if you can't tell by the shreds. And Jericho also loves these treats. I made them a few weeks ago and I just made more today. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make them very, very easily. Jericho, you coming over? Jericho usually doesn't like to be on camera, but he is blessing us with his presence. So for these treat ingredients, we will need approximately 4 ounces or 113 grams of salmon and 1 egg. That's it. For the salmon, I'm using the keto portions from Wild for Salmon. This is the place where I buy salmon for myself. Salmon is a rich source of essential fatty acids and vitamin D. Egg is a superfood. It has lots of vitamins and minerals and healthy fats. So both of these ingredients are an excellent healthy skin and coat treat. For these treats, I'm going to use Top Tree's Pet Treats Maker. This is a new thing that I found on Instagram. They are on Amazon and Chewy. The links for that are in the blog post linked in the description and pinned comment. So this is pretty cool. It has a blending function, which we'll use for these treats and air drying as well. But you can also steam things, you can defrost things. It has a self-cleaning thing. And it's pretty compact too, so it doesn't take up a lot of counter space. I really like it. Thank you to Top Trees for sending me this for free. By the way, if you want to be the first to know when my new recipes go live, join my Cozy Cats email newsletter. It's linked in the description and pinned comments. It's full of fun goodies, raw feeding inspo, enrichment tips, and I just have a lot of fun with it. So how to make these treats. The first time I made these treats, I had like half of the mixture left over, and I think it's because I made them a little too thin. So when I made them this time, I adjusted the ingredient amount, then I adjusted it back. So I was going to use 2 ounces and 1 egg, but the mixture was too wet, and when it's too wet, you're going to have some of the mixture come through the little holes on the drying rack, and you don't really want that. So what we're going to do instead is use the entire portion of salmon. I peeled off the skin, which was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And I saved that for later because I love frying up some salmon skin for myself. So we're going to put the egg and the salmon in the blender, blend it up until it's evenly mixed, about 19 seconds. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon to spoon out the mixture and then flatten that out. And I was able to make about 4 different treats for each of the racks. One of them does have 6, and I tried not to make them as flat as last time. They did come out fine and they were easily breakable, easily crushable, but like I said, I wasn't able to use all of the mixtures. So for these ones, I made them a little bit rounder and a little tiny bit thicker. Top Trees recommends doing about 5 millimeters. I didn't measure it, I'm just gonna see how it turns out. And then you just tap air dry and then you can set the timer. I'm going to set these for 4.5 hours. The first time they were ready in 3.5 hours, but these are a little thicker, so I'm just going to see what it's like in 4.5 hours. And everything is clear, you can see it. They'll be wet and kind of juicy. The first few hours is probably towards the end is when they start looking like they can peel off of the dryers. So future Jess here, I wanted to show you how the treats came out, and here comes Jericho to do a taste test. So this is how the treats came out here. They're still pretty thin. So I had them on for 4 hours and 10 minutes, and I think they would have been fine with even 3.5 hours or 4 hours, but Jericho and I were cuddling and relaxing, so I just didn't get up. All right, so Okay, so how to feed these treats. Treats shouldn't make up more than 10% of your cat's total daily intake. So let's say, okay, so Jericho eats 4 ounces of food total for the day. So 10% of that would be 0.4, so just under half an ounce. So that's the max that you want to feed in treats, because treats are not complete and balanced. They don't offer everything that your cat needs. So we want to do a low amount. So I would feed Jericho, if I'm going with the max, I would feed Jericho 4.6 ounces of food daily and 0.4 ounces of treats daily. Usually I don't go that high. I typically take like one of these treats, break them up a couple times, put them on glass jar lids and hide them around the apartment for Jericho to hunt. Or if I'm clicker training, I'll grab one of them, break them up into smaller pieces, and that's what I use for the training session. Keep these in a sealed container in the refrigerator, and I kept them for about 3 weeks, and they were totally fine. Don't forget to join my Cozy Cats newsletter to be the first to know when all of my new recipes and goodies and behind the scenes news go live. Thanks for watching.